Oh, what's up, y'all? Okay, so I decided I was gonna sit here and talk to y'all. I done got my selfie stick out and everything, child. I'm trying to be a YouTube professional. Anyway, I was gonna sit down and talk to y'all about grow bags. So Army Chickadee asked me what I thought about grow bags, and I had thought about it. See, y'all don't understand. There's so much content. By the way, if you're not subscribed, hey, how come you have not subscribed? Have you turned your notification bell on? You should be watching. You should be watching because this gardening game be coming out regularly. I release videos every 3 days. Make sure you subscribe so you can get this game. Because ain't nobody going to give you this game the way I am. Now, that being said, back to what I was saying. I have so much content on different things and I have repeated myself so many times that it's unreal. And anybody who knows me knows that I really don't like to repeat myself. And I know that I think it's because I remember what I said, or you know what I'm saying? And I realize that other people forget. Like I said, it's not a knock on anybody. It's just, I get tired of saying it. I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over. And some channels I don't understand how, and maybe they don't like it either, but they do it because they get clicks anyway. I don't know, but I'm not going to keep telling y'all the same stuff over and over. If you ever notice you ask me a question, I'll send you to the old video. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to be rude or anything. It's just I've done a video on it, so you should watch it and get that game. But anyway, so this morning, 2.0, 2.0. Don't be on my door like you done lost your mind. But anyway, she wants to be out here with me, but we finna go for a walk when I finish this video. So she asked me a question about grow bags, and I realized I had never really covered grow bags, never said anything too much of anything about grow bags, but I know a lot of people do grow in grow bags, and she asked me what my thoughts on them. And so I figured, I did answer her in the comment section, but I figured the question was good enough to warrant expounding on that a little bit and telling y'all, because it's not something I've really covered. Okay, so grow bags. What do I think about them? I think that grow bags are a good tool for certain areas or certain people. So always keep in mind that what you're growing in, your vessel that you're growing in, is going to have certain characteristics. And you need to tailor what you're growing into what you're doing. Because, for instance, okay, I'm going to tell you what I mean. So grow bags, do they work? Of course. Do I have some grow bags? I actually do. And what I'm going to do for y'all is I'm going to start growing in those grow bags. And I'm going to show you my experience growing in them, because I'm going to be honest and tell you I've never grown in them before. I've had those grow bags for a while, over a year. But I've just never grown in them, not for any particular reason. I had so much other stuff growing, but I'm going to make a pointed effort, because I think I have about 4 or 5 of them. And I'm going to make a pointed effort of showing you guys me filling them up. I'm going to put something in them, and I'm going to do it this fall. I'm going to put something in them and grow in them and show you my experience. Now, even though I've never grown in them, I know several people who have. And I've watched their experiences with them. And there are people local to me. There's a lady up the street that gardens. And she has a few grow bags. And for all except a few purposes, she has all but abandoned them. And I'll tell you why. So, when it comes to grow bags here in my climate, I think they're perfectly fine in the fall, in the winter, and I realize that they're more reasonably priced. For instance, you can get a larger grow bag for a reasonable price than you can a big, huge pot. Some of these big, huge pots cost a lot of money, whereas a grow bag is, cheaper. So, I definitely understand the cost factor. Space, you can get small grow bags and, get a lot of them and fit in a tighter space. But like I said, in my climate, in the fall, the winter, the early spring, I think they're perfectly fine. Can you grow in them in the summertime? You can, but you're going to fight, and I'm going to tell you why. Grow bags, because they're fabric, or whatever that material is, I'm going to call it a type of fabric, because it reminds me of dust cover, what they put up under the bottom of furniture. That's what it reminds me of. Um, so because they're fabric, once you put your soil in there and then you water your plants, if you ever get to a point where it's going to be super, super hot or whatever, keep in mind all the way around and on the bottom, that's fabric. So as your soil is moist, it's going to moisten the fabric too. Water wants to move from a place of high concentration to low concentration. What do I mean by that? If you take a towel that's dry and you dip just the corner in water, you'll notice what'll happen. The corner will be sopping wet, but as you give it time, that water will creep out towards the dry part of that towel. Now the whole towel won't get wet, but basically what that water is doing is it's going from a place of high concentration where the towel is soaking wet to a place of low water concentration where it's dry. Things in nature naturally want to seek equilibrium. It's the same thing with salt water. If you take salt water and put it in something with fresh water, all of that salt will equalize and the whole thing will become equally salty. So water is always trying to basically dry. It's always trying to do that. Like even when you have water in a bowl, it's constantly evaporating. You just can't see it. If you pour water on the ground, you ever notice how you can pour water in one spot on the concrete, and because concrete is porous, that spot will grow, the water will spread, because the water is going from a higher concentration place where it's super wet to a place out where it's dry. And then once it reaches out there, where it's dry, it's going to start evaporating and drying up. That's just what water does. So that's what it's going to do in your pots as well, in those grow bags as well. In the grow bags, you're going to moisten that soil. Everything in the soil going to be moist, but because that fabric, you have that fabric with the air, the soil is a higher concentration of water, meaning it's wetter than the air. So naturally, your water is going to draw to the edge of that, and it's going to evaporate. People make that same case for cinder blocks. Like when you grow in cinder blocks, that's why you see Robbie says she drops that milk carton in there and then fills it up. Because concrete cinder blocks are porous, and as you water, they will wick water out of the ground. They'll wick water. It's the same thing with that pot. It will wick water out of stuff, and if it gets super hot and super dry, you're gonna have hell trying to keep that stuff water your plants, because it's steadily wicking the water. Now I'm gonna tell you where it may benefit you. Let's say your growing media is really dense or stays really moist or really wet, and you want it to dry out some. Like say you have some citrus, and what you're growing it in, the soil is too dense, and maybe your area gets too much water, and the soil is real clay-like and real dense and holds on the water a lot. Put that in a grow bag, because citrus don't like wet feet. They really don't. They actually would prefer it if you let the soil dry out. So you see what I'm saying? So that's why it behooves you to know basic growing concepts and know what basic plants like, because then you can tailor what you're doing to fit what you're trying to do. Everybody out here looking for one shoe fit all. That don't work. That's just like diet pills. They done proved to y'all that stuff don't work. Y'all keep on them infomercial buying them diet pills, and then next week, did your ears fall out? Did you take such and such diet pill? And then you in a class action lawsuit. Y'all quit doing that. Ain't no one size fit all for nothing. You have to use your brain, use your common sense, and adjust accordingly. That's life. That's everything in life. So when you're using that grow bag, I'm not saying they're good or bad. I'm actually pretty neutral on them. I do think they have their place. Like I said, if you have really dense soils, or and you done planted some citrus, or you done planted something that don't like wet feet, yeah, plant that in a grow bag. Or if you live in an area where you get a lot of rain, a lot of water. Y'all excuse me, I'm trying to fend off a sneeze. If you know that you live in an area where you get a lot of water, or it's not as hot, you don't experience these droughts and things, Grow bags in the summertime probably will work pretty good for you. Um, because your pots aren't going to have the chance to dry out, because before long you're going to get some rain, or before long you know what I'm saying, and it's not that hot. Because keep in mind, the heat index, the hotter it is, that's why these over 100-degree days for over 30 something 40 days was rough on me, because it's like an air fryer outside. I'm here to tell you, air fryers, that technology is not no groundbreaking technology. All somebody did was go outside in Arizona and pay attention. When it's that doggone hot, and that air is so hot, it will cook and evaporate every little bit of moisture out of something and crisp it up. That's why some of my stuff just burn up to a crisp, because it was just hot. That's what hot ass air does. It sucks and evaporates the water out of stuff so fast, you can't hardly put the water to it fast enough to keep up hardly. But if you can, it's very hard. So if you live in an air fryer like New Mexico, I call those states the air fryer states, because whoever invented the air fryer must have come from there. If you live in Arizona, New Mexico, some parts of Utah, these places where it's desert and they think it's pretty to go out there and look at that mess, which Arizona is pretty, but I'm not going there in the summertime. Miss me with that. You may need to stay away from grow pots. I have told people for a long time, in Arizona, I'm not saying you can't grow anything. You may need to put that in the ground. Every good gardener I know in Arizona, they stuff in the ground. Vegas too. That's another place. I don't even really recommend raised beds. I mean, well, it depends on how you do your raised beds, but like containers and stuff, I don't recommend that in New Mexico, Arizona, Vegas. I should say Nevada, not just Vegas. I don't recommend it, because every gardener that I've seen that's tried to do it, ooh, there's a station wagon. My granddaddy had one of them. Anyway, I hadn't seen a station wagon in years. Anyway, I don't recommend it, because every gardener that I've seen that's successful in those states, and keep in mind, I go by what I see. You're not going to tell me and put in some book and everything. No, you're going to have to show me. And you're going to have to show me not just one video. You're going to have to show me progress. I'm watching several videos and I've seen progress happen. Because, see, I'm not one of these. My mom used to tell me all the time, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. So y'all do with that what you want. Y'all go out here believing that, especially in the world of social media and stuff, where you can edit and you can do all this stuff. You can make everything look like anything. Y'all see how my videos is. I put the phone down. I don't edit nothing. I cough. I dig in my nose. All kind of stuff on camera. So I'm saying that to say, since I have not seen any gardeners been successful doing it that way, for y'all, I don't recommend grow bags. I don't really recommend raised beds. Not really. Unless you're going to do tire beds. That's the only one I've seen successful in Arizona. And I think the reason why is because tires is rubber. Water cannot evaporate through that rubber. It just can't. Why do you think they make pond liners out of rubber? Rubber is not, it's impervious to water. It's not porous. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't recommend it in those climates. But if you live in climates, these dogs is playing with this ball and they is just running. Anyway, if you are in a climate where you get a lot of water, or it's cooler, it doesn't get as hot, you don't get a bunch of 100-degree days, it stays 80, 90 in your summers, you can get away with grow bag. In my climate in the summer, it's not going to happen. Fall, spring, winter, when we get plenty of rain, the temperatures are cooler, you don't have to worry about water evaporating as fast. You know what I mean? It's fine then. So that's my advice on grow bags. I thought it was a wasp. I can't really think of anything else. I think I've covered just about what I want to say about that. But I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I want to say? But just keep watching. I'm gonna break those grow bags out. I think I got about 5 of them. I'm gonna break them out, fill them up. I'm going to plant something in them, and I'm going to start in the fall and show y'all. And I will even go into the summer And what I'll do is I'll do a test. I'll do some in the shade back in the back, and then I'll do some in the sun. And I'm going to show you how. But I got to put something sacrificial in there because I don't trust them in the sun. I'm just going to be honest with you. I've seen what my neighbors did. I'm not going to put nothing that I really love in there. I'm going to put something in there where if it burn up, I don't care. Because if it burn up, some of my good stuff will be hot. But yeah. Also, the longevity of a grow bag. It's going to be lower than a pot. But hey, sometimes, you know, like if you're in a place and you know in a year or two you're moving, get you some grow bags, because guess what? They don't cost that much. Use them, you can throw them away. And you don't even have to move that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes if you done built up a little stash of pots, you don't want to throw your stuff away. You done took time and collected all this, you want to move it with you. But if you got grow bags, you probably, or when you pack up your grow bags, you fold them down. Hell, they fold down to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I forgot about that aspect of it. So I always think about, you know, where you are in your life and what you plan on doing and what you're trying to do. Maybe grow bags are easier for you to move because you can get them in smaller sizes or just what have you. Like I said, y'all use your brain. Put your thinking caps on and tailor this stuff to you. But that's my opinion on grow bags. I'm not for or against them. I think they are a tool, and you use them like any other tool. You use them in a situation that denotes for you to use it. Just like you don't use a screwdriver to cut concrete. You see what I'm saying? You use a screwdriver to take off those knobs or take those off the hinge. Use a screwdriver on screws is what I'm getting at. You use concrete saw on concrete. So use your tools where and when appropriate, and I think you'll be all right. All right, so that's my time. I'm gonna go walk these dogs so they can quit tearing my house up. They ain't tearing the house up. They just running, playing, running. My dogs, they don't stop. They just run into the walls. That's why I'm glad I don't have drywall. Because if I had drywall, my house is old, y'all. I got shiplap. Y'all don't be thinking I ain't got walls in my house. Because some of y'all try. But anyway, I ain't talking about my subscribers. I'm talking about the drop-ins. But, yeah, so it's time to walk them and get some of this energy out of them. It's been cool this morning. So, as Shirley Murdoch say, it's morning. You barking? You ready? Okay, 2.0, here I come. You heard her bark. She telling me bring my ass. Okay, y'all. So, till next time. See you guys later.